3, 2, 1. They do a countdown now. Good morning, good morning. How is everyone? I'm gonna pull little pieces down so I don't not quite as extreme of having everything back. And just pull it back, and then need to do my hair, but I don't have time. And I just pull a couple pieces. Okay, let's see here. I'm now I got a message from Facebook saying that I can be a digital creator. I always thought I was a digital. I was already a digital, but officially, okay. So apparently, I'm qualified to have things business setting here, which then it's like, well, what do I have? What do they want you to have a business page? I don't know. They like to be involved with everything. Facebook's big brother. So let's get some brows on here. Hello, good morning, good morning. It's Monday Fun Day. We're gonna make Monday a fun day. As much as Monday Fun Day. Is it a fun day? Let's make it a fun day. It's a fun day now. It's a fun day now. Fun day now that I'm on here. Gonna make it a fun day. Oh, what a weekend. What a weekend. So, hope everybody had a nice Mother's Day. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a memorial for, I say, the latest of my friends who passed. And it was a really beautiful memorial. Her husband did it so that people could come up and talk with share their memories of her. And, you know, I'm fine on here. A lot of people are very nervous talking in front of a group. I've been talking in front of groups for a long time. Hey, how are you? I've been talking in front of groups for a long time. In the beauty business, I actually was an educator. A lot of people don't know this, but I was an educator for a couple of years. I was a salon educator where I would go to, with a chain that I was a part of, where I would go to classes and then I'd come back and teach the other people in the salon what I learned in those classes. Okay. And then sometimes it would be 2 or 3 other locations of that chain salon that I was teaching. So, you know, it's different, you know, for me, as long as I know what I'm talking about, I'm fine, you know, and I can be like switch into business mode, and I can compartmentalize very easily from my personal situation to professional. So a lot of times even with this, I will compartmentalize, and no matter what's going on in the news, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's going on, I'm like, the show must go on. I come on, I laugh, I goof around, I do whatever, but then I'm still getting the job done, right? And I'm giving you some information, and I'm, you know, I don't, and sometimes I've come on during some of the days where we've had some of the worst things happen here in this country in the last 5 years or in the world. And sometimes on that day is the day that we're doing a last shot video and we're goofing around or whatever. And sometimes I kind of felt a little weird about it because I wasn't acknowledging like that was a really, you know, horrible thing that happened, or, you know, something really intense. But at the same time, I'm like, I've always been like, you know, my page is a place where people can just come and forget about their problems and have a good time or whatever. But so Saturday I was like, I had not thought about saying something. And then I thought, well, maybe if they do have an opportunity that we can share some things, maybe I'll say something, depending on who else is there and the awkwardness of the moment or whatever. But then so many people got up and shared, and then I was like, well, screw it. I'll go get up and share. I can tell you that I have never been as, I guess it was a combination of my emotion of the moment and being and I was in a church setting, and there were people there coworkers that I hadn't seen in over 35 years, that later our mutual friend had worked with in another salon, just out of random coincidence. It was a small world, the salon world, whether you're from one township to another town area, another town area in the county, and in the whole area, there's some overlap. People, even if they move to the state next door, somebody from this area that I may have worked with may end up working with that person there, whatever. So there were people there that I hadn't seen, and so not only is my mind flashing back to the memories of this friend, but I'm flashing back to the fact that those people knew me when I was young, and here I knew this friend who passed when she was young. So I'm literally holding the microphone, and I've never shaken so much in my life as I'm telling this story of how I knew this friend and all this. And so I was just like shaking and shaking like a leaf, and holding the microphone and telling my story, and it was something else. It kind of like, it was pretty amazing that I did it, that I was I'm thinking about it like, how did I get through it? But I got through it. And so it was a pouring awful rainy day, and then somebody hit our car on the way there. Now, luckily, there was no damage to the car, and thank God, because they slid into us. And then 5 minutes, we were stopped at a light, and just when I was thinking, okay, are we going to get out? Are they going to get out? What's going to happen? Then they just turned and went into the shopping center nearby and just disappeared. They just disappeared. So it was like, screw it, we're already late. Is where I thought we were running late. When I thought it was going to start at 10, and it started at 10:30. So I was like, screw it, whatever it's going to be, we'll just deal with it, because we're running late and it's raining. So we get there, and, thank God, nothing had happened to the car. Nothing had happened to the car. It was like, well, she's looking over us, the car's okay. So I was too wiped. I thought, I'll come back. I'll record my video for my YouTube channel that I've been wanting to make for the whole of some thrift store shopping I did last week. I was gonna do, come on here and talk about stuff and whatever. And it didn't happen. I was too wiped out. It was like the combination of the rain plus the emotion of the day. I was just spent. I took a nap with my nice outfit on, and fell asleep in front of the couch and got some good sleep and even Pippa, who's usually, Miss Selfish, Miss Attitude, snuggled up to me and, gave me, what I needed, that day, and, gave me some good, comfort, and what do they call emotional support dogs. She gave me some emotional support, and then yesterday I saw that friend's sister who's in town and staying with her parents to be in town for the event, Saturday's event. So and I was gonna give her the tour, but the minute she came in, we got to talking about everything and catching up with our lives and everything like that, and I ended up not giving her a tour. But I'd spent half the day cleaning all 3 bathrooms, cleaning, dusting, and doing a lot of stuff that hadn't been done in a long time. So I'm like, well, at least the house is clean. I'm starting the week with, a clean house, and what do we say? A lot less emotional baggage because, I got to, say what my tribute to. Oh, Jesus. That other mirror always falls down. It's like this little, it's not on the most stable base, okay? But once again, it's not broken. So I guess I'm having some good luck here. But I got to do a tribute to my friend, say what I felt about my friend, and which was important, and and the house is clean. So, it's grateful for that, and and then so My in-laws, my mom's passed away, so, and then my in-laws are out of town right now, so we were supposed to see them last weekend instead, a week early, but then certain things didn't work out that well, so it ended up getting canceled, so we didn't really do anything yesterday, except, I saw my friend, which, it was very helpful to just sit and talk with an old friend who, knew you when, and we knew each other when, and we knew each other's family stuff and all that. And, it's just, it's been so long. I had not seen her since we saw her the day before, of course, it was just a memorial, but before that, it had been since the fall of 2019. It was August of 2019. That was the last time we'd seen each other face to face. And, time is irreplaceable. And the one thing about this pandemic is, I'm going to do a little concealer. The one thing about this pandemic is that it took a lot of time away from us. Time is precious, and especially with people you care about. And, you're lucky if you're in the house with them, but if you don't see them that often, and, you can't make up for time, so it's like, well, there's still a lot of stuff that's been going on with people nearly for the last 2-3 years. And the fact that, there's a lot that's happening. So, when you can finally see, old friends and in person, it's huge. It's huge. So, doing a little blending. So that's how my weekend was. And it's still, we're talking about people when you've lost loved ones and you lost friends, and with her, she lost a family member, and it's the whole thing. It's not easy. It's not easy, but we can be there to support each other, right? And so that's that's what was happening with me. And then I just did my team talk, and gave them some good information to kind of motivate their week and all that stuff. So, yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So, what is happening? Oh, it's really cold here. I had to turn the heat on. So for this to be May, okay, when I was growing up, May was always so hot. May in DC in the summer is hot, high humidity, sticky. It's a swamp. It used to be a swamp. Things have been off, less, of course, as we know, but it has just been, I keep saying to Patrick, I keep saying, I feel sorry for kids growing up, because it used to be April would be still really, really hot. And you'd feel like, okay, now time to put some shorts on, wear some sandals, and go, play outside. And you could have your, if you knew someone that had a pool, you could go swim or something. But not here anymore. I mean, and I go through my memories here. It's been about the last 10 years that I would complain about it being cold and rainy, or saying, oh, gee, it's a good thing I haven't put my sweats away, and, and it's been really crazy. And then, of course, as we know, in California, places, there's a crazy drought. We had so much rain here. That there are places where there was flooding, people got stuck. They were saying that there's this, and I didn't even know there were still barges on the Potomac, but the top high part of the Potomac, which goes all the way up to the whole, like we call it the arm of Maryland, where the Potomac River goes all the way up to the corner of West Virginia, and Maryland, where it all meets up. There's some barge that got loose in West Virginia, and it's been going down the Potomac. It's out of hand, and they can't keep up with it because the water is so crazy. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on when the weather's out of whack. So the water's a little higher here at the creek, but since they drained it, it's not as much water to begin with, so we don't have to worry about it getting so high that it comes up here. We're pretty on a little high embankment there, so yeah, so that's where we say, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. You know, I don't feel like I'm out in the country, but when things like that happen, and you're like, oh man, look at this, you know, not much is shit. They still got barges on Potomac like they used to have in 1700s. I was like, it's pretty crazy. Honey, did you hear about that?
What's that?
That there was a barge on the Potomac that got two barges that are like connected, and it's loose on the Potomac because it got there was so much water and it just like floating all the way. People were taking pictures of it or video of it and stuff. I was like, I didn't even know they had barges on. So a lot of concealer today. Thank God for concealer. A lot of concealer. Concealer. Is it SAW or SUUUU? Concealer. Concealer. Good morning, thanks for joining. It rhymes. Good morning, thanks for joining.
Sound like a flight attendant.
I know. It's so funny. I still laugh about what the jokes from that last video or a couple videos ago when we were talking about buying alcohol in the area, and ready to purchase things from alcohol. Oh, it's like prohibition here in the county. I'm ready to get a shipment from Al Capone. It's so hard to get alcohol here. Oh, because I just saw a video of Walmart. There are all these little, you know, what are they called? Reels. These reels where they were talking about, look at all the fun drinks you could buy at Walmart, and they were like different types of wine coolers, or all those hard sodas, or hard ciders, or all those things, you know, with the that they're alcohol based, but they're like fruity summery kind of drinks. Oh, you can get them at Walmart. Not here. You know, I've never been able to get any alcohol. Well, not where we live. You know, it was like, oh, another thing that we can't buy here. You know, it was like you have to go to a state where they allow that to be, you know, sold at Walmart. I was like, oh, not in this state, especially not this county. But there's some towns even in this county that are totally dry. You can't serve any alcohol at all, and that to me is like really old school. I think you can get a special license to just serve beer and wine if you have a restaurant in that town, in that little township. So, needless to say, we don't go.
And forget about dancing and card playing.
Oh, it's not that old. Dancing card playing. Oh, yeah. Maybe they do square dancing there. I don't know. All right, gonna do a glimmer liner. All of a sudden, I just thought of like some scene from Little House on the Prairie, where it's like Paul with his fiddle and all that. Oh. Anybody remember those? Michael Landon. What I love is a meme, right? Memes about when it says your internet's been out for 3 hours and they show us a picture of Little House on the Prairie. So how you feel when the internet's been out for 3 hours? Oh God, it's so funny. I was so into Little House on the Prairie. And also because there were so many times where they would have lead actresses and things, and the lead actress would be blonde. But because they made the lead actress have dark hair, her older sister, Mary, as we know, was blonde. But Laura, nicknamed Half Pint, had teeth like mine. She had a really bad overbite. And I even would do all that, the facial thing that I was so into the show at the time. I had my older sister who liked to sew. One of my older sisters liked to sew. She made a dress that was similar. We couldn't find exact calico, but I found something similar, and I had a dress and the matching bonnet, and the dress had the ruffles, the whole thing for like a Halloween costume. And I don't know, there was something about that I just love the outfits, and I love the boots, and and then it's so cool that later on, those boots came in style, and I still love them. I still really, and then of course the Madonna time when she was wearing all this, I still have tons of lace-up boots. It's just my thing. So it's so cute that, that a lot of those looks of some of those ruffly things have come back, and the florals come back, and sooner or later things come back. But I was so into that. I had all the books. I mean, I just recently, there was a documentary about Laura Ingalls Wilder, and interesting enough, the actress who played Laura, Melissa Gilbert, moved to a small town in Wisconsin, which was kind of like near one of the towns that the Ingalls family lived in, and she lives in a house. You'd think she'd be in some mansion somewhere, but she's not. She's lived in this small house with stuff that looks like something that would be a set of the show after like her time in like Hollywood and stuff. She's kind of settled it. It just goes to show, she's kind of likes that more simple life. So it's interesting. But yeah, that's another one of my little trivial hobby-esque kinds of things is fans of being a fan of that, and the fan of those books and the story and the people associated with the show, and even the actress that plays Nellie, she's in real life, of course, a really nice person, and she's done stand-up comedian, and I'm just so, it's such a part, it's a part of my childhood, it's a good part, it was one of the good parts of the childhood, that sometimes you can lose yourself in a show like that, where everything turns out okay, Alright, so now I'm doing the powder, the pressed powder. You can also use this as a foundation powder. When I was younger, I used to use just this type of powder foundation as my main powder. And you can use the sponge. You can either use the sponge to really press to blend in, or as your foundation, or even just as a touch-up. So, but the only thing about that show that I did not like was when they went off on tangents that were different from the book, which happened or books in general, which would vary, it happened within the first season. Some of the things went along with the way those books were, and then a lot of things they changed, especially later on when the kids got older, and then they added new kids, and the show ended up going on all these extra seasons and all this. Nellie was only in one chapter of one book, but she ended up becoming like such a major part of the show. I was like, I don't want to know what's going on Nellie's honeymoon, and that became like a thing, right? Everybody was watching that show. And I stopped watching it after a certain point. I was done. But one time I happened to be home, and I'm flipping through the channels. I'm like, Nellie's honeymoon. I don't want to know what happened on Nellie. I don't want to know Nellie's honeymoon. It's like, whatever, But it's the way they did it. It was almost like a soap opera where you kind of like, what's happening with this one? What's happening with that one? What's doing this? All right, so you get a little bit of, I'm going to do a little bit of highlight. And if you're a fan of the show, you know what I'm talking about. Nellie. I don't want to know. Okay, this is Darling. Put the Darling palette. That's another reason I'm saying Darling is from another show I like, was As the World Turned. Lucinda, who's Darling. What do I enter a room and say? Darling. Talking to her, that's how she talked to her daughter. Darling. I just recently saw an interview with her, and it was a really good interview on one of the YouTube channels I follow. That was another thing that got me through the pandemic. Is this guy who used to work behind the scenes on soaps, who's a fan of soaps. And, a lot of soaps have been canceled, but he, during the pandemic, decided, hey, let's interview some of these favorite people that we knew we have a fan base for. Fantastic. So good. And now sometimes he's kind of branched off to authors, but then sometimes it's like other actors and actresses that, aren't necessarily soap actors, but people just from, 70s, 80s that a lot of fans like. And it's very cool. Very cool. Very, very fun. Very fun. So I highly recommend it. It's called, his last name is Locher, Locher. And he calls it the Locker Room, kind of like a spoof on a locker room. So it's, I think it's Michael Locher, I think his name is. He's just a nice all-around guy and a very good interviewer. So, yeah, so there, okay, so Idol. This is what I used earlier for my blush and bronzer. So I'm going to do a little nose contour. A little nose contour. So it's back to work today, back to work on my other job, which I do from home, which is good. And today is the end of a campaign, so if you're local and you're watching this, message me if you have any orders, if you need anything, or even if you're not local, if you want to, order from my website, which is, here, link down below. So we'll have some of the things that I posted of some of the sales. Like today, I posted about the trial kit, my cover photo. That's a limited time only. I don't know if that will still be around next campaign. A couple other people messaged me about some of the primer deal with the Magic's Prime and some of the other things. That I don't know if that will stay around next campaign. So that means, it's limited time only. So if you're interested, let me know, or check it out from the website. Or if you're interested and you aren't sure how to do the website or how to look it up, a lot of it's just the item number, and I can look up the item number and message that to you, and then you can put it in and just order from where you are. So it's very easy. It's sometimes it's just knowing a couple extra steps since they changed the website. It used to be a little more user-friendly, but now there's unless you're really used to shopping certain types, because I think I have just shopped other websites that are similar to how ours is now. And some of them are very similar, but you have to be used to the way those things are set up, and a lot of them are set up in such a way that you have to sign in so you can see the special values. Now this is our new, it's called Tipsy. It's a special line that we just got, the Tipsy line, and it's a special pen, and it's like a marker, and I just love it for a lip color and stuff. It's like a lip stain in a pen, and I lined it earlier, but I want to add a little more liner, a little more liner, Carolina. So the relatives would say, do some lip liner like you look like you're from North Carolina. I'm a mix of the North and my mother's from the South and my dad's from up here in the DC area, but then they lived in New York for a certain amount of time. My dad grew up in New York, and then after my parents got married, they moved to New York for a certain amount of time, but then they moved back. It was always moving up just to that area, the same area, and then back, and then it was 20 years later living in the same area and then moving back. And so it's always been this connection. Now if you want to go a little, there are 5 shades of these, but that one is light pink, and that's really cute, so I thought it was fun to wear since I'm doing something pinky. But we also have, this is the darkest one, and this is kind of like almost like a mulberry. And then there's some ones that are more on the orangey side or reddish side, warmer. So But when they dry, they don't go anywhere. They don't go anywhere. So, you know, so that's really cool. So if we just want to do a little extra ladder, I do a little extra, yeah. There we go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about any products, let me know. And here, and yeah, so I'm gonna do mascara later on. I may come on later. I'm gonna be filming another video later on tonight, so I think I'll come back and do that. Because it's already, what time is it? Already 10:30. We're at 10:30. I got a lot to, oh, thank you so much. Thanks so much. I got a lot going on, so I may come back and to do this. And this week is a special sheep and wool festival. Okay? It's a sheep and wool festival going on. Marilyn, so you know we're going to have a special lash guest. It's a sheep and wool festival. I said, we know Lash Chop is going to make an appearance. So we're going to come back and do my mascara later on. A sheep and wool festival. and that gives somebody some time to think of some new sheep and wool jokes. So, and tie it in with some lashes. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you have a beautiful Monday and a wonderful week. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.